Before we get going on combining like terms and using the distributive property, we're going to go over these key concepts. First, you have to know what a like term is. Like terms have the same variables raised to the same powers. And we can always combine like terms. Let's look at an example. Here we have the expression 3x squared plus 4x plus 2x squared plus x plus 7. We look at the terms. We have the terms 3x squared, 4x, 2x squared, x, and then 7. The variables here are x and x squared. The 3x squared term has the variable x raised to the 2 power. The 2x squared term also has the variable x raised to the 2 power, so 3x squared and 2x squared are like terms. Also, 4x to the first power is like with x, since they both have x to the first power. We can combine 4x and x. So we rewrite this, and I rewrite by rearranging and putting all the like terms together. All the terms are added, so we can rearrange because of the commutative property of addition. I have the 3x squared plus 2x squared, and then I have plus 4x plus x, and then plus 7. Now, 3x squares added to 2x squares makes 5x squares. There's 5 of them. 4x's added to 1x makes 5x's. So we can replace the 3x squared plus 2x squared with 5x squared. We can replace the 4x plus x with 5x. That's our combining like terms. 7 we cannot combine with anything because 7 doesn't have an x at all in it. Like terms have to have the same variables, x's, y's, whatever, raised to the same power. 5x squared cannot be combined with 5x because one has an x squared, one has just x to the first. So our final answer that gives us all the combining possible is 5x squared plus 5x plus 7. Now we're going to look at the distributive property. The distributive property says A times the quantity B plus C equals A times B plus A times C. That's a little bit abstract, so let's look at a numerical example of that. If I have the quantity 5 times 3 plus 2, that will give me 5 times 3 plus 5 times 2, which gives us 15 plus 10. And since 15 and 10 are like terms, we can add them together to get 25. Now, where we use this distributive property a lot is when we have a number times an algebraic expression with an x in it. Here we have 2 times x plus 3. We take 2 times x added to 2 times 3. This simplifies to just 2x plus 6. Now, since 2x and 6 are not like terms, 6 doesn't have an x in it, we can't combine them. So all we do is write our answer as 2x plus 6. We're going to look at simplifying an algebraic expression. We're going to simplify 4 times the quantity x plus 3 plus 2 times the quantity x plus 5. We're going to do this by applying the distributive property and also then combining like terms. The 4 next to the quantity means 4 times the quantity, and the 2 next to the quantity means 2 times the quantity. I put the little multiplication dots in here to indicate that multiplication. The distributive property says we take 4 times x, then we take 4 times 3. We add the two products, 4 times x plus 4 times 3. We do a similar thing with the second product. We take 2 times x and we add to 2 times 5. And this gives us 4 times x plus 4 times 3 plus 2 times x plus 2 times 5 after applying the distributive property. We can write this as 4x plus 12 plus 2x plus 10. When you have 4 times x, we can just write it 4x. It means the same thing. I'm going to regroup the like terms together. I'm going to put the 4x next to the 2x and the 12 next to the 10. We can regroup an addition problem because of the commutative property of addition. Now we can add like terms. 4x's added to 2x's makes 6x's. 12 added to 10 makes 22. So our final simplified answer here is 6x plus plus 22. We're going to do another problem where we apply the distributive property and add like terms. Only in this time we're going to do a problem that has a negative sign involved. The problem is 3 times quantity x minus 2 plus 5 times quantity x plus 6. I rewrite the problem using a multiply sign in front of each quantity and apply the distributive property. We take 3 times x and we add to 3 times, not 2, but that minus 2 is a negative 2. So think of minus 2 here as plus negative 2. And then we add to 5 times x plus 5 times 6. So that gives us 3 times x plus 3 times negative 2 plus 5 times x plus 5 times positive 6. We can write that as 3x plus negative 6, since 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. And we get that added to 5x plus 30. Now I'm going to rearrange and put the like terms together. I put the 3x next to the 5x and the negative 6 next to 30. 3x's added to 5x's makes 8x's. Negative 6 added to 30 makes positive 24, so our final answer is 8x plus 24. Now we're going to simplify a quantity that has several minus signs in it. In particular, we're going to have a problem where we subtract a number times a quantity. These are a bit tricky, but the guidelines here will help you out a lot. First thing, I just replace, or I put in the multiply dots in front of the quantity. But then here's a step that can help you out a lot. I replaced each minus with plus a negative. Minus 2 is replaced with plus negative 2. Minus 5 is replaced with plus negative 5. Now I apply the distributive property. Everything's added together. We have 3 times x makes 3x. We have 3 times negative 2 makes 3 times negative 2. Then we take the negative 5 times x with the distributive property, and then negative 5 times 4. We add all these products together, and this gives us 3x added to negative 6 added to, we call it negative 5x because it's negative 5 times x, added to negative 20, which is negative 5 times 4. Now, all of these quantities are added together. We can apply the commutative property again. I'm going to group the 3x term next to the negative 5x, and then I'll group the negative 6 next to the negative 20. 3x's take away 5x's. That leaves you 2x's in the whole, or negative 2x. Negative 6 added to negative 20, that's like a $6 debt, and a $20 debt makes a negative, or a $26 debt, or negative 26. So that gives us a final answer of negative 2x plus negative 26, but we can write that as negative 2x minus 26. In this problem, we're going to simplify an expression that has 3 minus signs in it. These are probably the hardest of all. We have 3 times the quantity x minus 2 minus 10 times the quantity x minus 5. First we rewrite with the multiply signs, and then what we do is we take each minus out and replace it with plus a negative. Now, minus 2 is replaced with plus minus 2. Minus 10 is replaced with plus negative 10. And the minus 5 is replaced with plus negative 5, much like we did in the previous problem. Now we apply the distributive property. We get 3 times x plus 3 times negative 2 for the first part of the expression. Then we have negative 10 times x plus negative 10 times negative 5. We can simplify this a little and rewrite this as 3x plus a negative 6 plus a negative 10 times x plus 50. I group the like terms together and put the 3x next to the negative 10x, and I put the negative 6 next to the 50. 3x's with negative 10x's added results in a negative 7x. Just like 3 minus 10 equals negative 7, or 3 plus negative 10 equals negative 7, here we have x's. 3x's take away 10x's leaves you 7x's in the whole. The negative 6 plus 50 gives us 44. So our answer is negative 7x plus 44, or we could write that as 44 minus 7x.